Logitech has finally done it. It took them a while, probably not as long as George R.R. Martin releasing Winds of Winter, but I suppose in sim racing terms it is close enough. So here it is, the Logitech RS-H shifter, which Logitech sent for review. I also have an affiliate link below if you want to help the channel out. As always, our opinions are my own, and that will be very obvious going forward. But before going there, a big thank you to all the viewers, members, and subscribers for all the support. I'm trying to get 100,000 subscribers. If you want to help the channel out, the best way to do it is pressing like and subscribe. If you could do it, that would be great. Thank you so much. Logitech's RS line wants to keep the prices more or less in line of what has been the case of everything coming out with this moniker. So it is really no surprise that the shifter costs more or less the same as everything else. It costs 139 pounds, 159 euros or dollars. So it's just slightly higher than the sequential shifter slash handbrake. Inside the box you have the shifter, you have also the clamp. The clamp is very useful. 4 bolts, but the bolts aren't really enough for a few things or long enough for another things. The clamp system will allow you to mount the shifter on a desk or on a sim rig with the ability of mounting a handbrake on the top part of the clamp as well. In theory, it makes the installation of multiple pieces straightforward. Much like the handbrake slash H shifter, the RS-H shifter can also be bought and mounted. I like this box, it is simple and full of cardboard, there is basically zero plastic. Looking at the shifter with the price alone in mind, it sits somewhere in the same price bracket as the Mazda shifter, around the same as the venerated Trustmaster TH8A RS, but significantly cheaper than the Fanatec shifter. In reality, you could buy both the shifter and handbrake from Logitech, and that would be not much more expensive than the Fanatec shifter alone. Construction-wise, there's really not much to write home about. It's the exact same frame as the handbrake. Got a plastic body, a plastic top, the shifter shaft is made of metal, so is the shifter knob. I'm not dirty, you are dirty. This H shifter is compatible with third-party shaft extenders and shifter knobs as long as they have an M8 screw. The shifter knob also has this blue accent, just like the one from the handbrake. The looks of this shifter is really generally kind of dull, so adding a little bit of color works. There are many types of H shifters. The one from Logitech is a 7 shifter plus a reverse gear, so 8 gates. The 7th and reverse are on the right side and they have to be pushed through a safety feature. So one part of the shifter will have some force, and if you want to go to the 7th and the reverse, you'll have to really push through. To be fair, I've been used to the Toyota system that is basically the same as the Fanatec shifter, where the reverse is on a safety rail by pressing the shifter down, which is more common in 6-speed manuals in cars. It's the same one, for example, in Alfa Romeo manuals with 6 shifters, and if you are in Honda, I believe that's on the right side, but it's very well the same thing. You have to push a gate or push some sort of the clamp. But I suppose if you want to keep the costs down, you have to do it like this, because the Fanatec shifter that uses this Toyota system costs almost twice as more. And unlike the Fanatec shifter, there's really no way to change the stiffness of the action. At the back of the case, there is a rather long USB-A cable, which leads us handily to the next point, which is compatibility. The RS-H shifter, just like the handbrake, is compatible with the PC, either connected directly to the PC or wheelbase, or to the console via a couple of ways. If you own a Pro wheelbase or a RS50, you may connect it to the back of the USB ports. If you are using a G29 or G923 with the consoles, it is compatible by purchasing the optional racing adapter. It is definitely a less than elegant solution, and the G29 system really needs a refresh right now, but it does assure compatibility with that aging system. Maybe we will get a refresh of this wheelbase when Winds of Winter is out, or GTA 6. Looking at the time that the shifter took to get out, maybe even longer, but it's just a thought. Looking at the shifter, I think the biggest downside of it is that it is not a sequential shifter as well. For me, it is really a letdown. If you want to use the combination with the sequential, you still need to get another RS handbrake, and removing this every time you want to have a sequential shifter it does take a while and it kind of sucks. I wouldn't be surprised though if soon enough somebody would provide some sort of shroud system to the RS8 shifter, much similar to what Trustmaster ships with the TH8RS. But thinking about it, not releasing the shifter with that is a bit of a loss of opportunity. The next point is the software. There isn't really much to talk about it. You can do some calibration, you can also do macros with it if you want to, and that's basically it. It's G-Hub, and G-Hub is not really great. Much more important than software is another downside of this shifter system, which is basically mounting it. The clamp is great, it is straightforward, it is very secure, even if you are using it on a desk, but only if you are using the shifter by itself. When you mount the handbrake on top, drawbacks start to appear. The first one is SimRig related. The provided bolts aren't really long enough to go through the SimRig shifter mount and the clamp and still attached to the handbrake. Then there's the other usability drawback that with some hands, just like mine, bumping the handbrake case is really just going to happen. I guess you could only use 2 bolts and move the shifter up, but that would be outside of what Logitech recommends and likely would not solve it. Since there's no sort of bracket or place to get a bolt through, getting this attached to an extrusion won't be easy. No matter how you cut it, it does seem like an oversight, and this seems to be done with playseat rigs in mind. Well, lastly, that leaves us with the meat and potatoes, which is the usability of the shifter. I mean, it is a shifter, it does shift, there's really nothing transcendental or life-changing about it. It does have a really good action, more on the stiffer side. Actually, it is quite stiff. If you are coming from an old Logitech shifter from like the G29, the difference is more than substantial. It's the coughing baby versus hydrogen bomb of comparisons. The throw is also substantial, not extremely long, but a good positive throw into a good positive click. Shifter, in terms of conclusions, it is a very straightforward conclusion. It is at the same level of quality of any other RS line system that Logitech has provided up this far. At the price that Logitech asks, I think this is correctly well priced because the shifter is of good quality, it's decently built, it comes with a very good clamp that works in multiple places, and it is PlayStation compatible. So if you are with Logitech using it on a PlayStation or an Xbox, of course this is your only option, but it works flawlessly. Because of all of that, because of the compatibility and the build quality, I think this is fairly well priced. Though in the PC there are multiple options that could be also to choose.